Basque-imbibed mining town. We can move on to Ely, Nevada, which was concurrently happening, I presume, because it was started in 2001. So it was kind of at the same time as
right.
Cabo.
Ely, Nevada. Carl Schutz, who was the director and creator of the Ximenes mural, it started there, but he continued as well across North America. And all these towns that were sort of dying, like Ely was a mining town. Yeah. And, just same as Ximenes, where the Macmillan Bladel, the lumber people, they left. Well, the mining people
It's revitalization thing, for all of these towns. And the best way for them to do it is to revitalize it with paintings on the walls, which they've got the walls already. They don't have to build anything. They just have to maybe just clean things up and get the artists to paint the
history,
murals.
The history of
and
the
usually
town.
Using the history of the town to make it more of an interesting visit for any tourists, that can actually walk around the different exhibits, So it's quite fascinating the way he's done that. And he got me a couple of murals that way, from Ximenes to, what was the other one I did back east?
Well, Oshawa. I don't think that was his, but...
wasn't it? I thought it may have come from him.
It might have.
I think it might have done. They seem to get the word out anyway.
That's right. And, well, of course, Paul, we're always saying, would love to do a big abstract, and today they go more modern. This is like 30 years later that they allow, wonderful graphic design.
Back then they wanted representation, usually of faces realistic. Of the characters in the town.
It was for you that they chose you because they
because of the faces.
Right?
I was probably the only one who could do the faces that way.
And it was united by our children was Ely, Nevada.
Right, yeah.
So we ended up using the United.
And these faces of the
times.
children were all prominent business people in the town today. And these were, when they were children in the town, is what I use their faces of.
That's theirs.
Whose idea was that?
That was to have the faces done. And then I basically did a mock-up to show what I was going to do with the American flag behind them. And it was about about 150 foot long, something like that.
The rest of the town was, showing more of the historical side.
Yeah, it was a mining town, wasn't it?
From the 1900s, yeah.
Because if you look at basically the Ely, Nevada website, basically, they're yours is one mural in a long list of...
There's about...
Plenty. I
mean,
the whole town is full of them.
There's lots of murals.
Well, Ximenes as well has
incredible.
about 40 now. But I think Paul is the third one, right?
Yeah.
But, they tried, they got a lot of publicity, and so they keep trying, what else can we introduce? Like more of the history maybe we can dig up. And, the thing with Ely, which was interesting, well, first of all, we're picked up in Vegas, right? Then we have a 4-hour trip with the son of the director.
That's right.
What was interesting as well for us is that this was the area where the Basques...
That's right, yeah.
In Boise, Idaho.
The Basques from the northern part of Spain during the Civil War, a lot went to the United States. They went to
before and after.
Boise, Idaho, Ely, Nevada. They went to all these areas where they could... Yeah, because, of course, they were all sheep herders as well as fishermen, but the sheep herder ones went always inland to these places where they could take up their business, their trade,
In fact, it's huge, like Boise, and we met a few Basque people in Ely.
Big fiestas now.
Yeah, they're trying to keep the language, the fiestas, everything. Yeah. It's quite fascinating.
And that was just by chance that Ely came out of... there was a link between the Basques.
We didn't know.
And then I'm there.
That's incredible. My heritage is Basque. And I actually meet Basque people there.
Yeah.
And we got on great with them and ended up going to parties and things with them. And it was just amazing, the coincidence.
Well, they're very generous, the Americans, if you're doing anything like that.
As soon as we got there, they gave me a Chrysler New Yorker to drive around.
So we had...
that was pretty neat.
And they had many dinners and many outings, and the other interesting thing is this is Route 66.
Oh yeah,
So
the famous Route 66.
yeah, I used to watch a TV show
Yeah, it was called
like
Route 66.
yeah in black and white. That's a long time back.
That's for
And
sure.
the thing was, this was the route that took people direct to LA, and the stop off could be Ely. And
That's
because
right.
it was Nevada, they had all the gambling, and the hotel where we stayed had the gambling machines, and they had photos of all the actors that had stayed there. So it did have a reputation already,
yeah.
which, you know, it was just a stop off for them. And I guess people, you know, they
Well,
always
the Route
maybe like to
66
gamble.
went right past the back of my mural. Right past the mural.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. So that's why that was chosen.
That's
the
why
big,
it was chosen.
yeah.
Because it was the
The
entrance
first one they would
to
see.
the town.
Yeah.
So it was the main thing they'd see, which would make them turn into the town to see more.
Yeah.
It seems like a very North American thing to do,
Yes,
these
yes.
murals. I guess it's partly to do with the
Yeah.
scale of everything, and you have huge
That's right.
highways, and you need
And
to.
and maybe because like I don't know, in Europe, I mean,
No, they do.
things,
They do murals everywhere as well now. There's
but not the history of a town.
no, maybe no, I
Because-
don't know. Remember when we were in? I think it was Portsmouth. There's a massive big mural in Portsmouth.
Oh, there are
we saw
some in
long
England,
time
yeah.
ago. That was
Yeah.
50 years ago.
Well, Spain they have
So they
some
do
big,
have some,
Yeah,
you know, different ones.
but they have so many. Maybe they
Okay.
have so many beautiful buildings that you daren't touch those. Where in
Yeah.
America we've got all these big nothing, and just
Yeah,
empty
huge.
walls, right?
Yeah,
yeah.
And we want to cover them.
And
maybe.
that's why,
Yeah,
because
maybe
they're
it's
not
that.
like Europe has so many old buildings that you wouldn't want to deface with putting a mural on. Whereas in America and Canada, a lot of the buildings are pretty plain, modern maybe, but not really historical. So therefore, a mural will just only make it even look nicer. you
And
know?
the history of Europe. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody
Yeah.
they want to visit those little villages in Italy, and you know
Sure.
they're already recognized and known. You know, this is really such a young country.
Yeah, but it was fun. Ely was quite an interesting town, you know, when you learned about the history and everything, about the miners and of course they had a red zone in town, of course, for the miners.
Oh yeah, I guess
Like
they were-
every place,
Really,
I
It's
guess.
very tiny.
Yeah,
They sort of covered every. Yeah,
it is small.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
small, isn't it?
And
Yeah.
they did a big arch, like they said, look, Paul, at the same time, you know, we'll have one night to introduce your artwork, like bring down paintings.
Yeah,
and
that was good.
so I don't know how you stretch those.
I stretched them,
You
yeah,
must
and
have
took them
figured
there.
it out somehow.
We had
And
there was.
Go on.
I finished with the wall fairly quickly. Like Joanne gave me 2 weeks, but I did it in about 11, 12 days. And so I had a couple of days extra. And driving around the town, I saw this wall that was like, it had an old advertising on it. You know, one of these old signs, you know, like the old Coca-Cola signs and those.
Oh, it was white
But it
pine
was
soda.
white pine soda. And it was old and it looked worn out and washed out. And I thought, wow.
And there were,
Have you got any photographs of the original look of this type of this one? So the guys, they came up with some old photographs from years and years before, and I revamped it. I just went into it and brought all the colour out and the lettering.
like in one day, there was
I only took a day
another.
or so on it.
There
yeah.
was another paint
Really?
ruin
and
or
I
something
realised when I was
behind
doing
it.
it was painted over the top of another advertising. So there was like 2 or 3 advertisings that you could see through in the end because I brought back all of them, and it looked pretty neat in the end, you know.
Actually, they
And they
all.
were happy about that, of course. So
Well,
that's-
because he's not charging. Paul can't stand to be doing nothing, so he looks at that wall and he says, "Hey, I should do that." I said, "Well, you can't just do it without me asking. Maybe they, I don't know, want it to fade away or something." So the director said, "Oh my gosh!" I said, "Yeah, he likes to be busy, not charging
in
anything."
the end, it looked like it had been
Yeah, so
done a year ago.
Yeah, they were thrilled about that. They also had a big parade through the
Oh,
town.
they had a parade.
And they did a wonderful job getting about, I don't know, 100, 200 people at in front of the
In
mural
front
when
of
you
the
finish.
mural to take
You
a
know, for
final
the
photograph,
unveiling
yeah.
sort of idea. So
And I went up
Wow.
on the bucket chair and took a photograph from right up high.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I got everybody in it and the mural
that's
and
right.
everything.
From the other side of the street.
From the other side of the street, yeah.
That was an amazing. It was a truck
Yeah.
with the
Yeah, it was
scissor lift on top.
It was a bucket lift, one of the things that like a cherry picker
Yeah, but this
on
time.
the back of a driven truck.
Yeah, but you never had it before on the
No,
back
I've
of a
never had
truck.
one like that. No,
And that's why Paul, so capable and everything.
because I could drive it around town
Yeah,
if
he
I wanted
says,
to.
hey, I said, well, how are you going to get it down? I just drive
I just drove
down.
it to the other place and
He just
backed
drives
up
down
and
the center of
up I
town.
went in the bucket and off I was.
Yeah. Well, every all these places, of course, they're interesting and they're fun. We're
And
there a short time.
in the photograph I've got here of the mural,
5, yeah.
the groups of people underneath each face are the relatives of the faces. So there's about 10 in one and 10 in another, 15. Every face.
That was one photo, yeah.
Yeah, has groups
But we
of
also
people.
took photo of you with each family.
That's right, yeah.
And then they had the big get
I
together.
mean, it was quite a deal, I guess, when you see yourself, that big on a wall, it's
yeah, for the
impressive,
subject matter.
I just wanted to say that you do notice on that website, Ely, Nevada, that there's, for example, number 12 is Basque Restaurant Remembered. There's a mural of a Basque restaurant, and then further on there's a mural of a Basque sheep herder.
Yeah.
So obviously you're right. It's no doubt there was
The whole area.
Basque
Basque
Nevada and
influx.
Idaho.
They went everywhere, the Basques.
Yeah.
South America.
No, but they did, but particularly in this area where
That's
we
right,
are. We were surprised because not only the fiestas, everything, and studying the language, and they're connected to the Basque Country, showing what they have the Nevada Museum as well.
Yeah.
What else? There was an award.
Oh, yes.
You received an award.
What was that, Joanne?
Is that right?
Yes.
In Ely.
Something
For the mural artists, I believe they give, they recognize, each mural artist, and you do get awarded, and they're very, as I said before, they're very generous. Hotel paid, all food paid,
Oh, yeah, it's
car
great.
given. We get obviously paid for the mural. Yeah,
Wined and dined.
yeah, they're really.
They did a special barbecue on a golf course for me.
Yeah, well, we
So
invited
very nice.
every
And they
few
invited all
nights
these
out.
special celebrities in the town. So,
Yeah.
yeah, it was very nice. You feel important, for a short while.
Well, that's what we love about Americans, right? They are generous.
They do,
and they're great patrons.
Yeah.
Yeah, if they love something, they gotta have it.
That's true.
Thank you so much again for listening to another episode of the Ygartua Art Chronicles podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please make sure you subscribe and share on social media. The podcast is recorded and edited by me, Ed, in Paris, France, and produced by Tala Ygartua and myself. All music is by Hoskin and Clark. You can listen to the next episode on Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.